You have to tune in. They tried to trade you. It wasn't trade talk. It's not like the big bad media was suggesting something and you had to hear about it. They tried to trade you and you said no. The team didn't want you. And I think it's weird he wants to stay here. I think that's so weird. He wanted to stay here to be benched. And it does speak to how soft this team is. We can get into Ullmark and his future here on Jones and Mego with Arcan. You can weigh in, 617-779-7937. You can also text us, 37937. I agree with this. The answers from Marchand and Pasternak are as soft as melted ice cream. They scream soft.
That sounds more wet.
From Ullmark wanting to be here and not going anywhere, to Marchand being happy with getting to the second round, the whole thing is extremely soft or just content. They're just
absolutely dry.
They're just content. No, the opposite scale. They're content with just, well, we got out of the first round. More home gates for Jeremy Jacobs, who I guess is speaking on Wednesday.
Yes, Charlie Jacobs is. Charlie Jacobs, Cam Neely, Don Sweeney, and Jim Montgomery will address the media Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and I think you're exactly right. I think that starts at the top, this sort of, being content with just getting the gate and, a couple rounds in the playoffs, and it starts up there and it trickles down to the team.
Our bosses are happy with us. We got to the playoffs. We won a round. More home gates for the Jacobs family. And you know what? No one's going to lose any jobs. We're all going to stay here. Linus Ullmark gets to stay on the team. And it's everybody's just too content with losing and choking and coming up short.
Absolutely. We didn't embarrass you, did we? Look at us. We didn't embarrass you. Aren't you happy?
Right.
Look, everybody. Yeah, whew, all right. Look, that was a really good team on the other side, guys. That team was really good. And we went 6 games with them. And isn't that great for us? And you know what? I kind of agree to an extent. I do think that this team was not built for a deep playoff run. And I think that by the slimmest of margins, they did overachieve by going 6 games with Florida. I still wouldn't throw myself a parade. I wouldn't bend over backwards, patting myself and all my teammates on the back, being right after you lost, going, hey, you know what? I'm proud of everybody. I'm proud of you guys.
And it's one thing for you to say it, on a talk show. It's another for them to say it. It's another for the team to be yeah, no one thought we'd do this in your face. And so it all just is soft, and they're just so content with where they're at. And it probably does start at the top, Arcan. You can jump in, 617-779-7937. Here's more of Linus Ullmark on breakup day yesterday.
For me, it's above my pay grade as well, really. And I don't have the luxury to choose that. If I could, I'm probably get the same thinking as everybody else would have done. I want to stay, and I'm going to stay. But we live in a world where professional sports is, you got to deal with the hand you've been dealt with. And like I said, I have 1 more year. I wouldn't want anything else than to come back here, get a little bit of a revenge tour. Like I said, I'm very excited, motivated for what's to come.
The Linus Revenge Tour. That's another band I don't want to see. But so when he says it's above my pay grade, I'll tell you what, the first time I heard that, I thought he said it's about my pay grade. And I was like, yeah, what are we doing here? Nice. He said above my pay grade. I had to go back and listen to it. It's not above your pay grade, Linus. They tried to trade you. You just have to say, yep, do it. That's not above your pay grade. You had, it's such a fake, fraudulent answer because you had all the say in the world. It was up to you.
Right.
They had a deal worked out. You said no. They had one worked out last offseason. You said no. And so don't say it's above your pay grade and it's up to the GM. I just work here. No. You shot down the trade. And so I'm done with him. I'm done with DeBrusk. I'm done with Grzelcyk.
Why are you throwing DeBrusk in there? I'm just curious because I have been beating the DeBrusk drum for the last 6
He's a free
months.
agent. And DeBrusk had a good postseason. But I'm not falling into
Probably
that
the
trap.
best player in the postseason.
He might have been.
Other than Swayman.
I'm not falling into the trap of, DeBrusk was good in the playoffs. Let's bring him back.
It's above my pay grade.
I'm not doing that.
That's also the answer that I give when somebody wants to ask me something and I just don't want to say something negative. So I just go, that's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
That's also not a nice answer.
No, it's throwing your boss under the bus. Yeah.
Which is why I don't give it very often.
Okay. So to me, I'm done with him. They should have been done with him at the trade deadline. They tried to be done with him. He likes it so much here, even though the team doesn't want him, which is crazy. So find a way to deal him. He's got teams. I would deal him, by the way, now. I wouldn't wait till in season. We've already gotten some texts saying wait till in season.
The text line is like, hey, why don't you see what you can get for him when the season starts?
No.
How long are we going to play this game?
Trade him now. You need the cap space now.
People are rebuilding their teams now. This is when it starts. You want to wait till the season starts. Maybe if someone gets injured, but then you're just going to be sitting there holding on to him again.
Thank you. And so, I think you'd get more for him now. I don't even know what you're going to get, but I think you get more for him now than you would in season, especially if he's just the backup to Jeremy Swayman.
Right.
There's temptation to stick with him potentially if you go into the year with him. No, trade him now. I don't want DeBrus back. I'm done with Grizzly. Benched again in the postseason. That was a bunch of wasted money between him and Ullmark. I know they have $20+ million in cap space right now by keeping Ullmark and keeping Grizzly if they wanted to do that. But to me, I would rather free up extra space because you're probably paying Swayman $8 million. Well, there's your $8 million right there, and now you have another $20 million to go get Elias Lindholm or Stamkos, who's a free agent if he'd ever leave Tampa. If you want help on the back end, you could address it that way.
What about Reinhart?
You have tons of it. You could go steal Reinhart from Florida. That's another free agent. And so I would rather carve out as much cap space as I can to add to the team while also retaining Swayman. That's why I'd move on from Ullmark and Grizzly, and I wouldn't keep DeBrus.
To me, it's a total no-brainer. You got to move him. Find some way. I don't even, honestly, at this point, I don't know, maybe it's foolish because, you do want cash freed up to go get some other guys and help out, reorganizing your top six a little bit and hopefully not run into what you ran into in this postseason. At the same time, I do think part of it is addition by subtraction. If you get rid of Ullmark, and I know that sounds crazy because they had the goalie rotation all year long, but with Swayman now. And they have the good vibes and the whole goalie hug and everything now.
That's all fake.
Is that going to last if Swayman is the number one goalie going into next year?
I don't care if it does either.
That's
I
always
don't give
been
a rat's ass
if
the vibe, it's not really about the goalie vibes are great, but I don't care about that. I don't. That's a nice little thing they can market and make their T-shirts, them hugging and stuff, but that really has nothing to do with the team or going forward how to fix the team. Having two goalies doesn't get you anywhere, and once the playoffs start, it's
gets
completely
you a really
pointless.
Nice regular season, is
right?
what we've
but
learned.
They've had really nice regular seasons without a goalie rotation, and it just doesn't make a difference. I don't think. And when it comes to the playoffs, it's completely useless. It's useless to have that because if you have one goalie, you're sticking with them, and we've seen that even when they come into the postseason with a plan like that, if one guy plays better than the other, then you're going to play that guy. That's just the way it works. It's the way it always works, and having two goalies for another year would be insane. What?
Older H-Bang.
Whoa.
In the Twitch chat.
How much older?
Good question. They are not trading Ullmark. That's their playoff cash cow meal ticket. It's a fair point. Jacobs goes, wait a minute. Although he probably doesn't know enough about the team and the makeup of it and everything. He's just get me to the playoffs and pay me my money. But, the goalie rotation does, to Mego's point, kind of secure you getting into the postseason. It's a fair point. I would move him. I'm a broken record on this. I would have moved him a long time ago.